Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Dancing Gnome Brewing Company out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This beer is part of their monthly bird series. This one is called the Eastern Bluebird. And all these different bird beers that they release once a month, they're all different. They're all IPAs with different hops in them. I don't think the malt schedule is always necessarily the same either, but they're all double IPAs and they're different every time. But I think they're all usually 8%, which this one is. And this one is Galaxy, Mosaic, and Citra, which is kind of like the holy trinity of juicy hops for a lot of people, so I'm excited for that. And they said they used a different technique for dry hopping, so I don't know what that is, or they also didn't say why they did it or what the outcome was, so I'm curious. But I did hear from a friend that this was especially good compared to some of the other ones they've done in the series, so I'm pretty excited to check this out. I'm going to crack it open and see what we got here. I don't remember. Oh, yeah. So this is canned on 10/19/19. And today is November 1st. So this is 11, 12. So this is 1 day short of being 2 weeks old. So it's very fresh. And generally, I like to sit on their beers for a little bit to let them the greenness die off. But if they're changing things that they're doing to maybe make that better to begin with, I want to try it super fresh. So I'm glad that this is pretty fresh. So you can see it's very, very hazy, darker golden to like almost a mustard yellow color, with about a finger's worth of really fluffy white head that's like not going anywhere at all. So I will say that smells fantastic, but it's not necessarily the aroma I was expecting. It's actually kind of like dank. I'm definitely getting like peach and pineapple, and a little bit of like an oniony character too. But it is like kind of dank as well, which I wouldn't really expect from those three hops. But it doesn't smell like I'm not getting like an overly malty note or a lot of booze either, which is a good thing. It smells. It's very, very bright and pungent. Honestly, this is one of the best aromas I've gotten from a Dancing Gnome beer in a long time. I will say that. It's pretty good. It's kind of a nice mashup of all three of those hops. It's not like super like BO or sweaty that Mosaic specifically is, but even Citra can kind of get into that realm too. I'm not getting that very much. The flavor is actually like very orangey, which I don't really get much in the aroma. The aroma is a lot more like pineapple-y and dank, but the flavor is a lot more like orangey, but not like it's not like bitter orange rind. It's like actual like orange juice, like very. But I do like the balance of this. It has a little bit of a sweetness, a little, a balancing bitterness, but neither one are like over the top or unbalanced. The only thing I don't like is it does kind of have those like this chalky finish that I do kind of tend to get from their beers. It's less in this than a lot of their other beers, and it does almost have like a medicinal finish, but it's not like there's something inherently wrong with the beer. To me, it just reminds me of something that I get a lot of times from Amarillo or Amarillo, however you want to say it. But that I know that hop isn't in this, but it's something that's similar to that. Like I think it's something from the hops. It's not like a brewing flaw or anything like that. And another compliment I'll give this is it's not as boozy as a lot of their other double IPAs. I think the bitterness and the booze level are like almost perfect. They could be scaled back like a tiny bit, but they're definitely better than most of their double IPAs. And sometimes their double IPAs are almost even like a little bit on the syrupy side. This is really not like that. It's definitely full bodied, but it's not overly sweet and it's not thick. Yeah, it just there's something on the back end that I don't like that much, but that's being nitpicky, to be honest, because most of it is very, very good. It's just that finish that keeps it from being like top notch, in my opinion. But it's definitely not like super green and bitter like some of their stuff is really fresh, which I appreciate that. I mean, it has a good bit of bitterness, but it's balanced, but it's also not really sweet either. So I am glad that I opened this fresh. It also doesn't seem like quite as chock full of hops as normal, which I think is like flavor-wise it is. It really pops, but maybe it's just because it doesn't have that like lingering green bitterness. It seems like there's less in it, that it might fall off faster. I have no idea. But I am glad that I drank this fresh, and I think it's at a really good state right now, and I can't imagine like waiting to drink this longer would make it any better. It might not get worse for a couple weeks, but I don't imagine it getting better than this because it's not like rough at this point. I think it's pretty drinkable. It's really funny. I always say like so many of these IPAs are so similar, but I'm really starting like get a house feel for them, and I'm like, this is not like a Resident Culture double IPA. This is not like a High Branch double IPA. I'm not going to say which are better. I mean, for the most part, I would say I like Resident Culture and High Branch IPAs better than Dancing Gnome. But in general, I've had really good versions and not so great versions from all of them. So, but they all have their own like house. I'm sure a lot of it is from the yeast too, and it's not just from the hops, but they do all kind of have like their own house character, where each beer is different, but there's some like little strains. Strain is probably the wrong word, but just different layers in the beer that I could tell. I feel like I could tell if I drank them. If I drank a couple of each one side by side, I would be able to tell which is from what brewery. Maybe I'm full of shit. I don't know, but I feel like I would be able to do that. I think this is definitely on the top tier of Dancing Gnome beers. This one's really balanced. It's really nice. There's a couple tweaks that I would prefer to make where it would be like completely top notch, but it's still really good. And on my scale of buy and drink dump, I would buy this again for sure. This is to me the biggest reason for the buy on this one is that the booze and the sweetness are like very held in check. I could crush this out of the can in like a half an hour and not think twice about it, and that's saying something for a lot of double IPAs today. So I think that's all I got on this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.